One, two. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Hey, Pixie, how you doing? Welcome to
I'm
our
very well,
podcast.
thank you, my darling. Just actually finished my morning yoga practice. So I'm
Very
feeling
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to join, but I couldn't. I was on social media just posting some stuff for the Soul Power Technique website. Great. Welcome to our fifth podcast. Today we are going to talk.
Fourth.
Is it fourth?
It's fourth. It's fourth. We actually had a rest weekend last weekend, you see.
Yeah, we
It was
just
supposed to
talk
be,
so much.
but we had technology problems.
Yeah, technology problems. Uh, so today we would like to discuss. Well, first of all, it's been 3 months and a week that I'm sober.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you. This is such a huge achievement.
Thank
So,
you.
so proud.
Yes, it is because I've tried for a very long time. So I would like to talk about what I tried and the recovery process and what's helping me now. And then I'll let you talk for a bit. So I'm gonna go into a monologue now. But so yes, so several years ago, I tried to quit drinking through AA in London through the
Mhm.
Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's a great program. It saves a lot of lives. It helps millions of people around the world. It's a brilliant idea, but it didn't work for me because it felt too invasive and too God focused. So out of 12 steps, seven of them are about God. So I didn't feel close to it. It worked because for a few months I didn't drink, but then I gave up. It wasn't the right program for me. But if you have any, I really suggest if you have a drinking problem, try AA because it's a great program. But it didn't work for me. And so I tried with the NHS, and they have a program also. So every Thursday I went into a special clinic near the hospital in Ealing, and the problem with that is that it was mixed with a lot of other drug abusers, and they were there for the meth, and I felt out of place. I felt
Mhm.
dirty, and it wasn't the case. And then the one day, because I was juggling working and studying at the same time, um, the one day that I couldn't go to, the NHS kicked me out. They said, "You're not serious about it. We don't want to see you again." So it's a good program if you can stick to it, and I couldn't.
Sorry, Flo.
Go
Can I
on.
just interrupt for one second? I just want to say, so for me, automatically, I'm sensing that you wouldn't have felt very supported in that moment as well, because miss it once, there's no, this is the reason. It's
I
just you're
wasn't.
out, which for me is not a great way of being if you're going to help people.
Yes.
A lot of people struggle to even admit they have a problem to go in the first place. So not
Yeah.
giving them 110% support can be really damaging, and like you say, contribute towards you falling off the wagon again.
Yeah. I was more of a patient,
Yeah.
a box to tick. So it didn't feel like it. So then I tried quitting by myself. I didn't try quitting. I listened to the people around me who were in denial about my drinking problem and who said, "Well, your problem is that you don't know how to drink less. You need to moderate yourself." And I thought, okay, maybe I can give that a try. But moderation didn't work for me. So going to the pub for 2 or 3 pints instead of 6, 7 with my friends, I could do that. But as soon as I would walk back home, I would drink six more pints. I would stop at the night
Mhm.
shop, and so it really didn't help. So, and especially during COVID, what really destroyed me is during the first lockdown. I was engaged, and then I was not, and it was very difficult to deal with the chaos around me, the neighbors. Lockdown meant everybody was in and everybody was
Of
doing this
course.
stuff, a lot of noise, and I went into drinking mode where I would drink every day or every other day, and we're talking 8 pints a day, 12 on the weekend. And if I wasn't drinking, I was having a terrible hangover.
Mhm.
And So it really became a problem. I could feel it in my health until
Like it
I
really got a hold of you at that moment because
it,
of
it
the fact that
did.
you were
Yeah,
just as well being stuck indoors with all of that going on. Like you say, everything was intensified. Your neighbours would have been at home. Uh,
yeah.
I know for you, you struggle with, neighbours making noise. It gives you anxiety and stuff like that. So for you, it would have just been off the Richter scale, like stress, anxiety, and reaching for a drink would have been your source of comfort.
It was the only comfort I had actually,
Mhm.
because that meant that when I was doing that, I would sit outside even during the winter days. I would sit outside with my laptop, put on those earphones, and I would watch a lot of 8 out of 10 Cats, and 8 out of 10 Cats does countdown. I love comedy. Everybody knows that. I love that
Yeah.
show. I love Jimmy Carr. So for me, the excuse was to sit in front of comedy and drink. And and for a very long time, I thought that I couldn't be funny or I couldn't laugh if I to things that I loved if I wasn't
Mm.
drunk or if I wasn't high on weed, but mostly drunk. And I actually haven't watched that show since I quit drinking because I'm afraid. I don't know why, because now I know that
It's
it's
the
funny.
association of it will trigger you subconsciously. Yeah.
Exactly. That was the thing. That was my ritual to sit outside and drink while watching that. So, but then with time, I realized that it was a. I mean, I've always known my drinking was a problem, but I've always been a functional alcoholic, so I
Mm.
would be able to hold a job. Drinking never came in the way of me
Well,
working.
I know this very well. Sorry to interrupt again
Yeah.
because we actually worked together. What was it, some 7 years ago? That's where we
Yes.
met. We actually worked in a corporate company together. And I do remember our nights after work in the pub, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. And it was every night. We would start on a Monday, and it because it was the cultural thing to do. Then it was never a
Mhm.
problem,
Yeah.
but it really is a problem, even if
After
it's
work drinks,
especially.
they are a
Yeah.
killer. Like they get people. Yeah.
Yeah, people just down a few pints really quickly before they go back home, and it is it. I know it's cultural, but it is a problem, even especially if it's on a cultural level. It
Yeah.
is an issue. So what really drew the line for me was when I found myself here alone on a Saturday morning. I woke up. It was on the 3rd of January, if I'm not mistaken, and things happened in the night which made me realize that I blacked out again because last year I was drinking to the point of blacking out every time I drank, and so I thought I really had enough. This wasn't right, so I went to my GP and French doctors. I'm not dissing any other doctors
Mhm.
in the world, but the French medical system is incredible, and she's a
Mhm.
young woman, and she's really helpful, and she we tested my blood, and I've been going through all the doctors to test all of my body, and I have liver damage,
Mhm.
which is quite, it's very serious. She said that in
Mhm.
5 years, if I continue drinking, I'd get liver cirrhosis, so it's very bad, but I couldn't
Yeah.
feel it. So these things matter. And so, so first of all, when a doctor usually tells me don't do this, I try not to do it anymore. I trust
Mhm.
doctors with my life,
Yeah.
literally. But what really helped me was to replace that behavior with another behavior. And I got really motivated by you. So you jumped back for a while. When you moved from England to Spain, you were doing your thing. I was doing mine. But when we got back in touch, you got back in touch with me at the right time. The
Mhm.
weekend I decided that really wanted to quit drinking
Yeah.
again, and so you introduced me to yoga and meditation, and
Yeah.
this is something that has really helped me get my mind off of alcohol because now I'm obsessed with yoga instead of obsessing with drinking. I used to look forward to the 5 to 5 o'clock to start drinking. Now I look forward to 5 o'clock to yoga. And so
Mhm.
this is where you come in and explain why on earth is yoga? And because we all know, the world knows that yoga is the best exercise for all humans on earth. It's been
Indeed.
proved, referenced, everything.
Indeed. Yeah. So what I'm just going to skip back just a little bit, because you mentioned on when
Yes.
you were going through all these tests and had your liver tested. I remember going through that process with you, and you were so frightened as well
Yes.
that you were going to have irreparable damage. What if the doctor says this? What if the doctor says that? And I remember it getting you into a terrible state, and then all of a sudden it kind of clicked, like that lack of self-love that you would have experienced deep down inside through actually doing this to yourself for many, many years.
Yes.
And
Over 10
going
years.
back
Yeah.
to it, yeah. So, and I remember you was really, really worried, and I just said to you at the time, because we'd already got back in touch, and I said, look, I'm starting this project because I'm launching a big coaching program called the Soul Power Technique. And I said, because I knew you were trained in psychology as well,
Yeah.
I said, I think it's something you really might be interested in. Come and work with me. I'm going to teach you this method. And all of a sudden, you were like, right, it's really crazy that you got in touch today, because, I actually got up this morning, say before you got in touch with each other at 11 a.m., it's like you woke up that morning at about 7 a.m. and was like, right, I'm going to do it today. It was like a divine intervention, I say,
It was.
from the universe. And that was the very day I got in touch. And I remember saying, right, do this with me. And he was like, oh, I'd be really interested. And we all of a sudden, I said, oh, I'm going to do some yoga practice later. Do you want to join? And I remember you saying, do you know what? I'll actually give it a try. And I remember you then actually saying to me, I'm not going to do this today because I've got a doctor's appointment on Monday or Tuesday. Say this was like a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah,
we spoke.
it was.
I really want to get on when you told me that you was giving up drinking, I really, not only because you're one of my closest friends, but because of what I do and what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
The minute you said, I'm not going to go into this because this is not what the podcast is about today, but my father was a drug addict and an alcoholic from a very young teenage age until the day he sadly died about 5 years ago. And so I was the daughter of an alcoholic and a drug addict. So I was constantly a victim of his abuse, and I see all the damage and the suffering that it caused himself, everyone around him, and the traumas that I experienced growing up because of his self-abuse and these addictions. So when you said, babe, I'm giving up drinking, I was like, right, that something inside of me was not allowing you to give up on this. And I was like, right, babe, this is what we're going to do. And I remember you wanted to do what I was telling you to do, but all of a sudden you had this sense of fear because you're like, I'm going to the doctor first because they're going to check my liver, they're going to scan this, they're going to do that, they're going to test my blood, because I'm frightened, and I'm a little bit frightened of doing any form of exercise. Before you knew too much about it, I'm a little bit frightened of it, because what if I've got damage and the GP says, my doctor says that I shouldn't exercise, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm here, you go and get these appointments out the way. And I remember you speaking to me when you was in the meeting room going, they're playing Beyonce in here. And I was like, oh, it's a good sign. The doctor's going to help him because I know how much you love Beyonce, and these little silly things. And I'm like, this is all meant to be. This is the time for you to really become happy and healthy and really create these changes. And there was no way I wasn't taking hold of you and be like, right, come and do this because this works. And I know it works. All right.
Yeah.
And I remember you going through a couple of weeks of this process, and I'm like, come on, yoga, meditation, we're going to do it. You're like, right, I've got another appointment. And I remember the doctor was fantastic because she'd arranged something like 4 or 5 different types of appointments, literally testing every element of your physical health.
Invasive, like I've had cameras down my throat, and
yeah. So I remember thinking, right, and I knew that was just the worry of going there and maybe getting some bad news that was stopping you from focusing on anything else. So I was like, all right, get them out of the way. So when you said, right, we're all clear, we've got some liver damage, I've got liver damage, but the doctor says if I change my ways right now, this can go, it won't become any worse. But if I don't, this is fatal for me, cirrhosis of the liver, which is one of the things that my father had. So I was like, right. So when you got the all clear, I was like, right, come on, let's do it. And when you said, right, I'm ready, I'm going to do it tonight, I was like, oh my God, I was so excited because I thought this is going to change your life. And I remember we did a very gentle yoga flow, literally just sitting down. You didn't have a yoga mat or anything. You're just sitting on the rug in your house. He was like, babe, I haven't got a yoga mat. I said, doesn't matter. If you can breathe, you can practice yoga. Everyone visualizes yoga as being this balancing, wrapping your feet around your head and all of that. Madonna style, Ashtanga, power yoga. If you can breathe, yoga. if you can breathe, even if you were just sitting down in a chair and you are not mobile and you can breathe, you can practice yoga. And it is the
Agreed.
most beautiful practice. So yoga is about unity, uniting your mind, body,
Yeah.
your spirit, but also becoming very aware of who we are, becoming aware of our mind, our thoughts, our emotions. You know, where is our body at? Where's our mind at? And then all of a sudden, for years, your mind's been scrambled over here, there, and everywhere with, you know, these addictions, anxiety, and it's been all over the place like ping pong, a crazy butterfly. And then your body has been failing you because of all the stuff that goes on in your mind that allows you to then consume these, you know, poisons and toxins that you were putting
Yeah.
in your body. It was creating such disharmony and dysfunction in an imbalance in your body and your mind. So it's very, very easy to keep going with it, and falling back off the wagon. Because when you're like, right, I'm going to do this, your mind just goes somewhere else
Yeah.
because there's deep rooted stuff inside of you. So the practice of yoga allows us to start becoming aware of who we are, uniting every essence of us. It is the oldest, you know, yoga goes back thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
years. And I think some people that have never done it get a bit frightened of it because they're like, oh God, I can't, I'm not flexible, I'm not this, but everybody can do it. And when I
Yeah.
explained that to you and you gave it a try, I want you to explain to people what your first experience was. That first half an hour that we did, how was it for you? What did you feel like? And what was you expecting it to be like? And how was it in comparison to the difficulty you thought you was going to have?
It was completely different. You know, I had those old cliche, as you said, of being super stretchy and flexible and doing all sorts of weird position. And it's not Pilates, it's yoga. I had that cliche in my head, that Madonna thing you said, and I thought I needed to be able to stand up and bend over to touch my toes to do
Yeah.
yoga, which actually, no, it doesn't. So I had that, what you see on TV sort of cliche, and yoga is not that.
Yeah.
I I just I am still, I'm 35 and I'm 50 pounds overweight. I have the body of a 75-year-old, and I thought I could never do something like this. But now that I'm doing it, it's not about pushing myself. It's not running. It's not going to the gym. It's about getting to know your body. And now,
Awareness.
but
Yeah.
it's awareness of, but also the mind, but my body, just doing a couple of the yoga we've been doing the first month was just on the floor.
Yeah.
We never stood up. So,
Uh,
but I
mhm.
still got to learn. I learned, I have muscles that I wasn't aware that I have, and they're there. They're not muscly. They're flabby, but they're still there, and it's stretching me in ways that actually make me. I've always had insomnia. I'm
Mhm.
someone who doesn't sleep. The day I started yoga, for the first 3-4 weeks that I started yoga every single day, I slept like a dead baby. I'm not going to say like a baby, because babies, I used to sleep like a baby, waking up every 4 hours with a diaper full, crying. But now I sleep like a dead baby. I don't wake up. I do my 9 hours. I dream. I don't have nightmares anymore. It's been such a pleasant journey. But the problem with yoga is that now that the day I decided that I was moving out, and it's been 2 weeks. I stopped doing yoga. I did it twice a day, lunch and evening, yoga and meditation. And the moment I quit, because I wanted to focus on packing my boxes, the moving part, I thought, oh, I don't have 15 minutes to kill, so I'm not going to do yoga for 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks that I didn't do yoga every day or meditation every day were a nightmare. I took 50 steps back. I couldn't sleep anymore. I was moody, angry. All the old Florian came back. So it is proof. I am convinced now that yoga is the thing that I need in my life to replace bad behavior. It really, 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 really impacts my mood. It
Mm.
makes me, and you've seen it yourself,
Yeah.
talking to me every day. We talk every day, and you can tell when I don't do yoga. I'm irritable. And so
And your neighbours seem to annoy you a whole lot more when you haven't done yoga.
a whole lot more. Yeah. Because once I'm done with
Hey, they're
yoga,
dragging furniture.
oh, for fuck's sake.
I've never known someone with neighbours that drag furniture.
Me, they follow me everywhere. They follow me everywhere in the world. They follow me. Anyway, and I think, yes, because once we once I'm done with yoga and meditation, I'm still wearing my headphones, better headphones than that, and I keep on listening to the meditation and yoga flutes music on Spotify. They have
Loving it because
tons
you
of
keep
music.
sending me all these new like
Yes,
playlists of Indian yoga music, flute music, rainforest music, and I'm like, I've got
it's
this whole new
amazing.
collection now. You're officially addicted to something new and healthy, which is a complete
It's the first time in my
gift.
life.
Yeah.
I've never practiced any sports. It's the first time
Mm.
in my life. So I really want to and I'm interested in. I'm actually. I want to one day become a yoga instructor, and
I know.
what I want to start doing very soon is guided meditation because this is something amazing that
Well,
really
I've
helps
already
me.
found a course for you, haven't I, that you're going to start
Yes,
very, very soon.
exactly.
So I guess within the next 4 to 8 weeks, you will be qualified as a meditation teacher.
Yes,
So that will be something
absolutely.
we can offer for people to come and join in, and it will be amazing. I mean, when we do our yoga at the end, we get into a pose called Shavasana, which is where we go like lying on our back. It's the corpse pose. And we go into a meditative state at the end of our practice and, set our sankalpa, our intention for the day. And I know that you really enjoyed that part because I started to take you into a little bit of a yoga nidra, which is a visualization when we
Yes,
were doing that. And that's the part that you really like absolutely loved as well.
absolutely love. Yeah.
And through that, I remember saying, I'm going to let you, because I could tell you were really getting into it. And I was like, although we were doing it on Zoom and we were in different households, because I'm obviously in Spain and you're in France, I was like, babe, right, now we're nice and calm and relaxed and we finished the yoga practice. I want you to take over. And I remember you, because you've actually, that picture behind you is of the Amazon, isn't it? That you
This is
took
the
when you were
lodge
there.
I worked at. Yes.
And
Yeah.
I remember you taking me into this visualization of being in the rainforest and the birds, the nature, talking about the mystery of the rainforest, the jungle, and how there was stuff there we wasn't aware of, and all the animals and the sounds and the rain on you, the warm rain. And I remember, because you've actually been there, you took me into an experience of being there. And I was like, babe, oh my God, you should be teaching meditation. This is the
You
bomb. This
cried
is
a little, didn't you?
funny little dance. It was amazing. And
Mm.
you was like, babe, I really enjoyed that. And you were conscious that you wasn't very good at it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been doing this stuff for years. And that was one of the best guided meditations and visualizations I'd ever experienced, because you were speaking from your experience of being there. And I was like, you have to share this with people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And I know
storytelling.
now that you're getting ready, we found your course already, and you're actually, when you move in about 3 weeks, you're going to start your course, which I'm
Yes.
so excited
So
about.
am I, because it's storytelling and I have many stories to tell. And I love to write, but
You having
I'm lazy
stories
about
to
writing.
tell.
And I love talking about the Amazon, but the problem is that my direct uh, people get tired of it. I don't know why. It's the most amazing experience of my life, and it's not the last one, but I want to tell. So if I can tell the stories and make you smell the smells and see the
Mm,
colors with your eyes closed is
sounds,
brilliant.
feel, see, smell,
Yeah.
taste, touch. Yeah, beautiful.
So I'm hooked
Yeah.
to yoga. I'm definitely obsessed with the meditation, and I want to teach that. So this is going to be part of our program. Give me time to move away and be in the perfect environment,
Well,
and
I'm
then
just
we'll
I'm
start that.
literally going to stop you there, because for those of you that haven't watched our last podcast, we was talking about, the anxiety that you had. We won't go into it too much because obviously it's a different subject today. And I know we're trying to be mindful of
And we've
time,
got
but
4 minutes.
the anxiety of everything that you were going through,
Mhm.
you knew you didn't want to be around neighbors and around this noise. You had to sleep with earplugs in for years and so
Yeah.
on. However, you never, because you were still drinking and doing the things that you were doing, you didn't actually love yourself enough to think, right, I'm going to move out of this environment because this is actually no good for me. So since you've given up drinking, and since you've started these holistic practices, the meditation, the yoga, the mindfulness, you're actually like, babe, I'm moving to the countryside. I'm like, oh, for someone who went and lived in the rainforest in the Amazon for 2 years, and came back to living in an apartment block and having all this anxiety when you were free, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically there. That was a harsh reality. That was kind of a boom, back down to earth, crashing back down, causing more, drinking and stuff for you. So now, because you're starting to shift internally the energy and getting that into that space of mind of really nurturing yourself, you're now moving. So what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and you're going to be moving into the countryside. I can't wait to come and visit.
Yeah, the day I quit drinking is the day I asked my company to legally move and work from home. And this is something, and this is why it's a long-ish story to tell. So I will be telling the story of my leaving London, going to the jungle and coming back here to that prison that I left London to be in a similar situation. This will be in my personal podcast. This is a story I will tell without video, just audio in my podcast, because you and I are starting also separate podcasts.
Our individual ones, we are. We're going to be on the audio, aren't we? Telling about our life story. But what we will do is when we do them, we'll place the links for our personal Spotify. Embed in the link for here. So
absolutely.
The one thing that we did want to cover before we left off today was the fact, so I have created a new technique called the Soul Power Technique, which is what I asked you to become involved in the first place. So it's something that I formulated over the last few years. It's and I have really adapted and evolved it. And I've now just started working with about 17 people who 3 of them are trained psychologists and 3 of them, even numbers we've got going on here, 3 of them very sadly have been people that have actually attempted suicide or really had these awful thoughts of not wanting to be here any longer.
I've been
there. And I kind of selected many different types of people that were trained professionally, people that have been through these terrible experiences, and then people that maybe thought that, oh, life's just average, but I'm a little bit stuck, right? So I've pulled a load of different people in and I've started working with them. And what I want to say is the people that were really in a very low place, after one session of the Soul Power Technique, they're like, I feel so good. Don't get me wrong, we're going in, we're digging deep, we're opening the worms and we're getting them out.
We will cry, yes. Remember, I cried the first 2 times.
Yeah, it's a long process. However, they're like, I can't believe that thought. It's just gone. And when I think of that word now, I feel happiness rather than anxiety or fear or worry. And then the people that are the trained psychologists are like, wow, what did you just do there? So this Soul Power Technique, I'm basically putting the program together, which is going to be launching next month. And I know I'm going to be training you up in delivering this as well, as well as other coaches, because it's something I am aiming to have. We're going to be helping millions of people across the globe with this. It is a fusion of getting into our subconscious, removing our self-limiting beliefs and blocks, the things that are keeping us stuck, unhappy, fearful, tied to our addictions in life, and yoga, meditation. It is a program. It's all being fused together. And in this unbecoming of the things that we shouldn't be in life, our bad experiences, our traumas, our conditioning, the relationships that we've had, be it intimate or friendship or family, anything that's caused us disharmony or upset in our life that we've kind of embedded in our subconscious. It's all about removing this and unbecoming the things we shouldn't be. But when we remove these things, what we need to do, it's very mindful. Remember, we go back to you saying that you were on this program with the NHS in the UK, and the minute you missed a week, there was no explaining, there was no support. It's like, you're not serious about this, you're out. Well, this is a real supportive program. It's a program that runs for 6 months. You have a coaching session with me once a week, or when you're actually trained up properly.
Yeah. And also, P.S., I'm a trained psychologist also.
Yes, yeah. And then we are going to be, throughout the week in between your sessions, there's going to be written exercises for you to do. There's going to be yoga for you to join into, meditation, accountability with me and you on a daily basis, so people know they have that support. There's also going to be a community that we're building, so all of the people that are going through this process can just really cheer each other on and help celebrate everybody winning here and achieving and becoming happy. It's really important that when you are making these changes in your life, that you have a great support network around you, because when you get involved in programs like this and you start to grow and evolve, which was our first podcast, You Can't Outgrow a Bad Environment, as you start to shift and change, heal and grow and evolve and become the person that you should be, that light, that when you're born, that light inside of you that gets dimmed and your sparkle gets, your fire gets put out by all the crap around you in life, as you start to grow, people around you that held you in them places or environments, they start to feel uncomfortable because they're not growing and they don't want to grow. So it's important that you surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to be doing in life, that have the successes and the wins and, the dreams and goals and aspirations and the self-love and self-care that you want to have. You have to surround yourself with these people. So in this program, it's not about just taking all this stuff away and leaving you where you are. It's about really taking you on this big journey of transformation so that failure doesn't exist here. We're all working together, and then you start coming to this beautiful place where you're happy, you're healthy, and all you want to do is nurture yourself, care about yourself, love yourself every day, and, be a great person here, celebrate living, and wake up every morning with such excitement for the day ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because you're all of a sudden, you know that you can set these goals, these dreams, and they're achievable now because you're not stuck in that place of negativity.
Yeah.
And we're going to be helping and supporting every step of the way. So I'm so excited for this program.
So am I.
And really, really, I wanted to touch on that today because we're just getting it ready to launch. So if anybody is interested, for anybody that comes via this podcast, we will be giving a huge discount for people. We're going to be giving 50% off the program for anybody that signs up via this podcast. We will be placing the link to our website below. And it isn't published on our website yet, but if you just sign up for our mailing list or send us an email saying, I'm into the program, I found you on your podcast, we're going to be giving you 50% off that program, which is, a fantastic deal. So we'll look forward to, I'm just so excited for everything.
So am I really am.
Fantastic year for us, and I just want to end by saying how proud I am of you because you are like 3 months, 1 week sober now, not 3 months, just might add. Because we didn't actually do our podcast last week due to technology programs. So it was going to be a 3 month sober celebration, celebrating your wins here. So I'm really proud of you.
It's 3 months.
I love you very much. And I just want to tell you that.
So it's 3 months, 8 days, 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Yeah,
guys, download that app. That app is called I Am Sober. Great app. It has a community place where you can chat with people who are also using the app. It's great. So, but we'll get into that in more details in the future. But for now.
Well, it's a
happy Sunday.
Funny dance because we didn't do it much today. Well, we're not.
No, because I can't. It doesn't. You can't see my arms.
Yeah, when you put the background, your arms get cut out. I'll do it for you. Do that side, that side. Right.
But so don't hang up. I'll stop the recording now.
All right, okay. I did that last week, didn't I? We had to call back because we like to have a little chit chat after. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us and for celebrating Florian's, 3 months, 8 days, 4 hours and 39 seconds and 3 minutes sober. I was going to try and put it all in, but I forgot it all. But 3 months, 8 days is good enough. But anyway, well done, darling. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you tune in next week. We are coming back at you again with another episode of the Pixie and Flo Show, which will actually be episode number 5 because this was 4 today. Right, love you guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.